Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Crowning blow delivered by Jesus Guzman in an exciting 4-3 victory for the Padres last night. The 12th pinch RBI for Guzman this year. He leads the major leagues, and Chase Headley set the table in the ninth down by a run. It was Headley's home run that tied it at 3 and set it up for the Guzman pinch hit walk-off win. And the Little Leaguers are here, the best in the United States, from nearby East Lake, and the Padres saluting them before the game today, and currently the crowd here at Petco Park giving them a standing ovation as we welcome you to Petco Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series, the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres, with Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn and Mark Grant. I'm Dick Enberg. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. It's already been a good evening with the Little Leaguers here.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. See the smiles on their faces, winning a championship for the United States, then being on a big league ball field. They're having the time of their lives right now.
Yeah, well, taking batting practice and everything. It's been a great day so far.
You bet. And playing like a Little Leaguer last night, he left skid marks at every base, was Chris Denorfia, Mr. Hustle himself.
He really was. I mean, this first ball here doesn't really give you the indication of how big this is going second to third here, because they left Denorfia out there, left him stranded. But this play right here really set up the ending of the game. And here, anticipating the ball's going to be to the inside, he goes to the outside, gets his hand in there and touches the plate. I thought really gave the Padres a lot of momentum going into that ninth inning.
That's what tied the game at 2-2. Mr. Hustle and Heart, Chris Denorfia. Well, on the mound today, Tyson Ross, he's off his big strikeout performance against the Dodgers.
This is his 12th start of the year, Dick and Tony. And you know what? Tyson Ross is just getting better and better. Now, we go back to September 1st in Los Angeles. 5 innings, he threw a lot of pitches, but 10 strikeouts. He only walked 1. And since the All-Star break, I just love this. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. The great ERA of 2.45. Opponent's only hitting a $197. Why? Well, it's getting ahead with the fastball, right? Not only a fastball, 96, got a little bit of movement. He's got the biting slider to put him away, and then also working on that changeup. But the one thing I would really like to see is this Padre team get out to an early lead and give Tyson Ross a little bit of a pad, some wiggle room, so he can get a victory. His first one possibly here at Petco Park tonight.
Yeah, his run support has been one of the lowest in all of baseball. Well, this is a football Saturday, and there's all kinds of rivalries. Sorry about San Diego State. And you can imagine in the clubhouse, there's a player from one school saying, I'll take my team over your team. Well, we got West Virginia and Oklahoma, and the referee will be Kelly Kroll when we come back.
Saturday evening, and of course it's also a big college football Saturday, which makes it a lot of fun for the guys in the clubhouse on the team who have, of course, their alumni to be following. And one in particular matchup today, number 16 Oklahoma hosting West Virginia. Of course, we all know former Mountaineer Jed Jerko. Do they have a shot today in Norman or what?
Well, you always have a chance. The game's tied when the game starts, but I remember a game a couple years ago. They were in the Fiesta Bowl and they played Oklahoma, and Oklahoma was huge favorites. And I think Zoe will let you know how that game finished up.
Oh, Zoe here. Of course, the Padres assistant hitting coach bleeds the crimson and cream. What do you think? I mean, do the Sooners have it in the bag already?
Well, it's not in the bag. West Virginia did catch the Sooners by surprise in the Fiesta Bowl. Maybe that'll be a little added motivation for the Sooners to keep their foot on the gas today.
I don't know. Bob Stoops always has those guys prepared for sure. But last year it was OU that had the best. That got the best of them by just a point.
Yeah, that was a little bit of arena football at its best. I was in Venezuela last year, and I couldn't watch the game personally, but I got to see it on my computer, and had to give Jed a text on that one.
Of course. What do you think?
I was actually at that game. I went and watched that game, and it was a good game, fun game to watch, but we just couldn't pull it out at the end. Landry Jones had a big touchdown late in that game, gave him the win.
Listen to those guys talk about it. Well, there'll be bragging rights for sure after the game. And hey, it's the Padres and the Rockies' first pitch coming up after the break. Dick Imberg, Mark Grant, of course, Tony Gwynn in the booth. We'll see you then.
That ball's gone. Going to be close. He's in there. Headley has tied it up. Ground ball. That ball. And the Padres win it 4-3. Well, it was one of the outstanding games of the entire season, that 4-3 win. 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Headley home run and Guzman's pinch hit RBI walk-off winner. As we're underway here, Corey Dickerson, the left fielder, leading it off. Dexter Fowler let it off last night, re-injured the knee, so he's not in the lineup tonight. Tyson Ross on the mound, and the first 2 pitches out of the strike zone. 2-0, just to follow up on Kelly Crow with Alonzo Powell and Jed Jerko in the middle of the second quarter. Oklahoma 10, West Virginia 7. We'll keep our eyes on that game as it progresses. And 3-0 as Ross falls behind the leadoff man. That fastball at 94. Dickerson, LeMahieu, and then Tulowitzki here in the first inning for the Rockies, who start today 2 games ahead of the Padres. There's the strike, 3-1. They're 6 behind Arizona and 2 ahead of the Padres in the NL West.
Fun game last night, wasn't it, guys?
It was.
Anyway, a lot of elements.
A lot of fighting, a lot of clawing, a lot of scratching back.
Love the fact Headley hit that home run to lead off the night, because that kind of took the edge off.
I can't believe how hard he hit that baseball. He spun on it.
Yeah, 2-0 cookie.
Yeah.
And the fact that Todd Helton was a special guest last night again tonight, that he hit the home run the 9th inning to set up the drama. Almost as if you guys knew what was going to happen. Ground ball to right under the glove of Headley into left field. And safe at first base is Corey Dickerson. Headley didn't touch the ball. He's going to be charged with an error.
Well, a pitcher hates to start off a game with a walk, right? Working from the stretch, a base hit. Well, an infielder like Chase Headley, the Gold Glover there, I mean, he'd be the first one to tell you that's a play I've got to make. That's a good old-fashioned boot.
First time I've ever seen him boot a ball.
I
like
know.
That at third.
I mean, cleanly.
Yeah,
didn't get leather on it at all.
I think he thought it was going to come up, and it didn't. It stayed down.
Very rare.
That brings up DJ LeMahieu, currently in his career longest hitting streak, 9 straight games. Takes a strike. It was hit hard, but right to the glove.
Yeah, right through the leg, through the wickets.
Infield set for 2. And a ball and a strike to LeMahieu. Tyson Ross looking for his first Padre win here at Petco. As we mentioned, he hasn't received much run support. 3.18 runs per game. That's the 4th least support of any major league pitcher. That could be 2. Jerko, Cedeno on to Guzman, a double play. Made to order 4-6-3. And a look at the Rockies lineup brought to you by Hyundai. You've seen Dickerson and LeMahieu stepping up now. Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. Michael Kadire hits in the cleanup spot, 2nd in the league in batting, 329. Todd Helton will hit 5th, and Nolan Arenado, the talented 22-year-old third baseman, former Padre Yorvi Terry Alba behind the plate, hitting 7th. Charlie Blackmon in center field for Dexter Fowler, and then Chatwood, a good hitting pitcher, hitting .313 in fact. Tulowitzki just missed a home run last night in the first inning. Hit the top of the center field fence for an RBI double. One and one. 22 homers and 72 runs batted in. Kadire on deck has 75 RBIs to lead Colorado. Loop to left, falling in a hurry, and DeNorfia will have to play it on a hop. Loop single Tulowitzki.
Well, the scouting report for Tyson Ross on the hill tonight is brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. And don't tilt. I'll get to that in a minute. And strikes early, balls late. We all know that pitchers like strike one. In fact, I'm going to have T-shirts made up. I heart strikes. And then he can wipe them out with the slider, right? Because the hitters get defensive. So it's all about strike one for Tyson Ross. And mechanically speaking, I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit.
It's not like a pinball machine, the tilting, that kind of tilt.
You know, you're right on the same page there, Professor.
Okay, all right. I just hardly a wizard at that, but that was before the computer age. That's how kids entertain themselves with those pinball machines.
And here's what I mean, guys. When Tyson Ross starts to go to home plate, he wants to stay kind of erect this way, right? If his top of his body starts going that way, that's when he will spike the ball down here with the fastball and be off with location.
So it's okay to go to Saquon after the game, but you don't want to be going there during the game.
So if he starts leaning, starts arching that back towards the first base line, I guess that's a good way of saying it as well. That's when he kind of runs into trouble a little bit. He's got to stay tall and stay up and down this way rather than going that way.
Kadire at 329, 1 point behind Chris Johnson. Atlanta Braves leading as we check the Padres defense, brought to you by the Aramco Group. Denorfia in left, Amarista in center, Venable in right. Around the horn, Headley, Cedeno, Jerko, and Guzman. Huntley behind the plate, Ross on the mound. 2-1 to Kadire. Having a career year, this veteran. Rolls it foul, a breaking ball.
There's the slider, got to get that down.
Nice story about Michael Kadire. He was at a autograph signing affair when he was with the Minnesota Twins, and the late Harmon Killebrew was at that signing. And Killebrew, who had a very clear, beautiful signature, much like Tony Gwynn. Chop to third. We'll finish this story in the bottom half of the inning. Headley makes that play, and the inning is over. Double play key for the Padres. Denorfia will start it, bottom half of the inning. Brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. Adjacent to the historic heart of San Diego, Gas Lamp District, Petco Park. Pacific within a 9-iron away, as Will Venable leads it off. First inning, Venable hitting .275, led off with a home run last night. And that set a record for leadoff home runs by a Padre. His career 8th. Two and one. Tyler Chatwood. He's 23 years young, from Redlands, California. Went to East Valley High School. In there, 2-2.
Well, kind of an awkward delivery from Chatwood. Kind of just something a little herky-jerky there out of the glove, kind of wrapping that baseball a little bit.
Soft pop fly, and Tulowitzki right in position at shortstop for the out. One away. And a look at the Padres lineup, brought to you by Toyota, as Denorfia steps up, hitting second. Then Jerko, Chase Headley. Home runs the last 2 games for Chase to get to the 10 mark on the season. Then Guzman, one of the heroes last night. Alexi Amarista in center field will bat 6. Ronnie Cedeno hitting safely in 12 out of the last 13 games. Nick Hundley will bat 8th. And Tyson Ross on the mound hits 9th. Denorfia at .273. He was head first diving all around the joint last night. Triple his first time up. And that head first slide at home plate, a thing of beauty, as he eluded the tag by the Rockies pitcher Juan Nicasio to tie the game. 1-1. Chatwood has faced the Padres 4 times, all here at Petco. He's 1-0. Ground ball up the middle, and Denorfia has a base hit. What can you tell us about Tyler Chatwood?
Well, the 23-year-old is a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. He get up to about mid-90s. He's a tough competitor. You know, he's listed at 6 foot, 185. Guy's a spark plug. Deceptive delivery, you talked about that. And Roy Oswalt. He's kind of like a Roy Oswalt when he's out there on the hill. Talk to the Rockies broadcasters. They say he's got that bulldog mentality and that attitude. And we all know Roy Oswalt. He's not, not a big presence on the mound, but a competitor.
Speaking of Oswalt, we'll see him tomorrow. Jerko lines a shot to left field. That's a bullet out to left fielder Dickerson, moving Denorfia to second. And the Padres have something going here in the first inning.
One thing I noticed about Chatwood is challenging more hitters now with the fastball, trying to locate the fastball.
And Tony, this is what we've said about the Padre pitchers. He wanted that one down and away.
Yep.
That 4-seamer leaked over the heart of the plate. Good to see Jed hunting it early and getting aboard.
Snapping out of a 1-for-20 slump is Jerko with that solid single. 2 on, 1 out to Chase Headley. Batting left-handed last night, struck out 3 times, then turned it around right-handed in the 9th inning against Rex Brothers and hit that long home run. Ball 1. Currently in a 7-game hitting streak. Trying to call back the magic of September of a year ago. At the knees, 1-1. Bud Black, who has a good angle there in the dugout, he can tell if a pitch is high or low. He didn't like that call.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on that side of the field didn't like that one.
And for the Little Leaguers from East Lake, as they get their seats down in the left field side.
What a great bunch of kids. Had a chance to talk to him before the interview, and very polite, nice firm handshakes, looking in the eye, saying hello. Good kids. Tells you a lot about the coaches and their parents,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
2-1 to Headley. Fastball at 94.
Yeah, he can get it up to 96.
He's sneaky. You know, that fastball, he threw pitch before was a fastball in. Headley for a strike. That one had a little tail going away. So he could work that fastball both ways.
Denorfia at second. Jerko at first. 2-2 coming up. Tapped out in front of the plate, and it kicks foul. And a look at the Rockies defense, brought to you tonight by Hyundai. Dickerson and left, Blackman for Fowler in center, and Kadire in right. Of course, Cargo Gonzalez also not in the lineup tonight with that bad finger. Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, and Helton on the infield. Torrealba behind the plate. Chatwood on the mound, looking for his 8th win of the year. Walt Weiss, the skipper of the Rockies. Drive to center field by Blackman in perfect position for the second out. Tough luck hitting for Headley. He belted it solidly, but right to the center fielder.
Good swing. Two-seamer running back over the middle of the plate. Got in on him just a hair. Still a nice swing.
How frustrating is that, Tony, when you take a decent swing, you hit it up like that?
Part of the game, man.
Yeah. Hang with them?
Yep, hit it good, and somebody's standing there. Stuka Jones used to say they've been there for 100 years, man. That's the best
so
you can
true.
do.
Yeah.
Jesus Guzman. Luchador mass giveaway tonight here at Petco. So Guzman just quietly has established himself as the most productive pinch hitter in the majors the last 2 years. 12 RBIs as a pinch hitter last year, and a 12, including last night, this year leads the majors.
A little bit ago, he was asleep. Had to wake him up. Good breaking ball right there off the plate, trying to make him chase there.
2-0 to Guzman. 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. The Padres trying to get on the board first. And ball 3. Chatwood was drafted by the Angels, a second-round pick 5 years ago, as you see Amarista on deck. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded. Denorfia to third, Jerko to second. Guzman joins them, a Padre over every pillow for Alexi Amarista. Alexi checking in at 266. Former Angel himself. He's a teammate of Chatwood in the Angels minor league system. Ball 1. Rockies acquired Chatwood in a trade with the Angels after the 2011 season for Chris Iannetta, the catcher. Looks as if they made a good deal.
Well, he's going to be definitely in the plans when you talk about this Rockies rotation in 2014. Chacin, De La Rosa, Chatwood, Nicasio. Not a bad 1 through 4, huh? I mean, if you look right now, the arms that they have.
Again, he's come a long way to me from when he was with the Angels. Didn't have the good kind of fastball command, threw a lot of breaking balls, a lot of changeups. That was the first breaking ball we've seen him throw tonight.
1-1. Up the middle, off the glove of Chatwood, and that's going to score a run. Amarista, an infield hit. Denorfia scores. It's 1-0. Chatwood can't be happy with himself. He had that in his glove.
Yep. He doesn't touch that ball. Second baseman's going to get that and probably get the out.
Well, I'm sure he's glad that he hit that with his glove hand.
Yeah.
Remember, his pitching hand was the problem when he took one at the base of the thumb. Hey, the ball bouncing the right way for San Diego here in the first.
Base is still loaded. A run home, and Ronnie Cedeno, the hitter, batting .300 as a Padre. That one, two-hopper to Tulowitzki, and he'll make the out at first base, and the inning comes to an end. But the Padres get a run on 3 hits, and they lead 3. It's 1-0.
History last night, their 5th consecutive game with 10-plus strikes. And in our Geico quote of the game, pitching coach Darren Balsley talks about it.
You don't necessarily go out there and try to strike out guys. You try to make your pitches. And I'm a little bit surprised of the 5 consecutive games or 6 or whatever it's been. I've been here quite a while, and I would have thought we had done that before. I guess we hadn't. But, you can't strike out a hitter until you get 2 strikes. So the goal isn't when he comes up to strike him out. Once you get 2 strikes, put him away, and I think they've been doing that well.
That's an interesting comment from Darren Balsley. You don't go out there trying to strike him out, but when you get 2 on him,
sure,
punch him out. Russ, first pitch to Todd Hilton, a strike.
We talked about the 105-pitch effort from Tyson Ross. His last start, 5 innings. And Darren made a good point. He said, you know what? And we've talked about this before. Once that ball leaves the pitcher's hand, you can't control it. You can't control the foul balls. You can't control, where the ball is going to be hit on the bat. So many variables. So I'm always a firm believer. Stick with your strength. Try to throw good quality strikes, and the chips fall where they may, and see what happens.
Good changeup there by Tyson Ross. 1-2 the count. Comes back with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Todd Hilton had such a great career. When you start comparing him with the history book, the big names come up. In fact, he and Stan Musial are the only players with 2,500 hits, 550 doubles, 350 home runs, and to hit 310 or better. That's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Musial and Hilton. Fly ball to right, routine. Tucked away by Venable.
I think Todd's going to get a little bit of slack because he played his whole career for Field, but to me, he's a legitimate hitter. He did it on the road as well as at home. Good idea of what he was doing. More walks than strikeouts. That's always a.
You look at that, huh?
I do. That's always a test of what kind of eye you have at the plate.
Oh, tremendous eye.
Yeah.
Both you and Todd. I mean, my goodness, the hand-eye coordination is just amazing.
You were insulted when you struck out.
I hated striking out, Dick. It was. But when you're not trying to hit home runs, that's really all you have. Just put it in play.
Would you strike out like 3 times in your career?
438.
438.
438. Yeah.
I mean, there's some players in the league now can get that in 2 years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I tell guys all the time, 438 divided by 20.
I was just going to try to do that.
That's how many I averaged a year because.
My goodness.
My thing was putting the ball in play. That's all. Not anything scientific. Just put it in play. Make the defense get you out.
That's 22 a season. How about that? 4-3 is the put out on Arenado, and there's 2 away. Just to complete the story on Michael Kadire, they're signing autographs, and Killebrew said, "This is ridiculous. This must be your autograph. I can't even read it. It's just a scratch mark." Well, these people have come to get your autograph, and they're paying for that privilege. You ought to at least sign your name correctly. So he said, ever since then, he tries to with Michael Kadire, so that you know who it is that just signed the ball or your baseball card.
Harmon Killebrew had beautiful signature.
Oh, yeah. I remember traveling to Minnesota after his passing, and they had his signature on the wall.
Right.
And, I mean, elegant, beautiful handwriting.
Put that way all the time.
Yeah.
Ted Williams had a beautiful
yes, he did.
signature.
Yep.
0-1. Yorvi Torrealba, very popular member of the Padres in 2010. Bases empty here in the second. Padres leading Colorado 1-0. Fly ball again, shallow and right. Venable eases in under it, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning. No strikeouts for Ross. It was better, quicker innings.
For San Diego. Coming up, Yonder Alonso gives 2 special Padre fans a day that they'll never forget. Will Venable talks about his future, and Chris Denorfia receives an unforgettable award. All this and much, much more Monday at 7:30 on Fox Sports San Diego.
But that really brings you up to date. It captures the week, and a great job they do in that program. Yonder Alonso waiting to return. That hand still bothering him. He may or may not see action before the season ends. So that's Casey Kelly. Kelly growing a pretty good salad there, as you say, huh? Nick Hundley fouls the first pitch off as he leads things here in the second inning with Tyson Ross and then Venable to follow.
Hey, he's in the spirit.
Yeah. Awfully hot, though.
Oh, I know. That's some good looking cabbage right there, too.
2-1.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's really growing himself some heavy moss. 3-1 now to Hundley. You laugh because you don't have any. I mean, you're
I just
artichoke.
I just love to hear those words come out of your mouth. I think that's awesome.
High pop up, shallow and right center. Trio of Rockies after it, and it's center fielder Blackman who makes the catch. 1 away. Tyson Ross has 4 hits this year. One of those injurious in that partially dislocating that left shoulder at Dodger Stadium as he drove one off the wall. He's reduced the power of his swing, and everything seems to be working okay. And he'll bunt the ball too. Well, pretty good little wedge shot there, and he's thrown out by Chatwood. 2 out, and the leadoff man Venable steps up. Leading off last night, Venable hit a low laser off the bat. Didn't seem to be high enough to go the full distance, but it carried into the jack deck for home run number 21.
That ball looked like it just hit right on top of that pad just before it starts to go out to the jack deck.
Popped to short his first time tonight. That was his 15th home run this year here at Petco, and set him apart from all the other Padres. Gonzalez had the record of 14. Ground ball left side. That's going to be a tough play for Tulowitzki. He can't make it. Even with the strong arm of Tulowitzki, and he was going to try to submarine the ball across. I don't know if he could have thrown out Venable.
I don't know either, Dickie. Going away from first base, he's got a strong arm, but this was going to be a tough play.
Yeah, you see where Tulowitzki started. Will Venable from the left side. And we know, you're right, Dick, Tulowitzki's made spectacular plays going to his right through the years. But Will Venable also with the speed from the left side, infield knock.
4th hit for the Padres brings up Denorfia. He singled and scored the Padre run in the first inning.
This guy brought his office to the ballpark. Look at that. He's got his Barca lounger. He's got his little desk there with his iPad. Got his own little section up there, not being bothered by anybody.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
Food provided all around you. Some nice choices. Venable, 16 stolen bases this year. Despite the fact he's going to miss the final 50 games of the year on the suspension, Cabrera's still going to be in the top 5 in the league in steals. Low ball 1. All 9 of Denorfia's home runs against left-handed pitchers.
Oh, a good two-seamer away to righties that comes back over that outside corner. I've always liked that pitch.
And that's after he's buried that thing inside the right-hand hitters.
Now, what a pitcher can do is counter. If you cut the ball a little bit, you start it exactly there, and it breaks the other way. Either you get a swing through, or you get off the end of the bat.
So he's all the way over on the third base side of the rubber too, and as a right-hand hitter, you got to be conscious of that ball inside.
Yep. There it is. There you get that
all
angle
all the way over there. Wants you to think about him coming inside, and now he can do what I call like inside out the fastball, throw you a two-seamer. It looks like it's going to be away. It comes back across the plate.
See, that tells me with him going from the third base side, he has more of a comfort zone going down and into the righty because it's a straight angle. Whereas, Tony, a lot of guys, right-handers, go from the opposite side because they want that angle the other way.
Exactly.
Interesting.
2-1. Runner goes. Swung on and missed, and the throw is not in time. Venable has stolen base number 17.
Torrealba got rid of that ball really quickly. When Wills broke, I didn't think it was even going to be close. Got a pretty good jump. Takes a peek. See if that tag gets him close.
Oh, I thought he was out.
He thought he was out too.
Yep.
Clearly he got him
on the hip.
But when you tag him that late, a lot of times they think your hand's already on the bag. So we'll take that.
It's a big lead. Hang with him.
2-2 now as we check the freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Last night's exciting play as Denorfia goes first to third. Helton throws it away, and then Denorfia takes off. Good play by Rosario. Look at this slide, and that right mitt right on the plate as the Padres tied it at 2.
He did a great job of anticipating Nicasio getting that throw. He needed to go to the inside.
Chance to add to the 1-0 lead here with 2 outs and Venable at second base. 2-2 the count. And another foul smothered at the plate.
It looked like it bounced up and caught Chris in the. Did it catch him in the face? It sure looked like
it's kind of tough to tell.
Up in the arm and then on the chin.
Yeah.
That's a 3-banger right there.
Yeah.
What in the Mike Tyson's going on here? 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another foul. Running Chatwood's pitch count up to 38. Well, the Reds beat the Dodgers again today. 1-run win kind of might be a preview of what we'll see in October. Couple of 1-run wins for Cincinnati. Struck him out. 95 on that fastball. After 2 at Petco, it's the Padres 1-0. San Diego, and it's time for the Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League strikeout leader since August 1st. Tyson Ross there in third place, tied with Cole Hamels. Jose Fernandez, a sensational Miami rookie, with 58, ahead of Cliff Lee. We're going to see Cliff Lee in Philadelphia. They've announced the pitching matchups there. Tuesday night it'll be Tyler Cloyd, Roy Halladay on Wednesday, and Cliff Lee on Thursday. All those games will start here on Fox Sports San Diego at 3:30 for the pregame show. We mentioned Roy Oswalt. He's now with the Rockies and is off the injury list. And what they want to do tomorrow, they're going to start the rookie Chad Bettis and then see how far Bettis goes. And then Roy Oswalt is penciled in to pitch the rest of the game. Boy, shattered bat. Guzman with a flip, and it's one away as Blackman with an easy out.
Oh, music to my ears.
I knew it was coming.
There it is, burying the four-seamer in. Where does he hit it? Oh, down by the label. Snappy. Love that.
Tyler Chatwood.
You know what I'm looking forward to, gentlemen? Next year, 2014, is when Tyson Ross hopefully stays healthy and he gets about 33 starts, to see what he could do getting the ball every fifth day. Because we mentioned the strikeouts since August 1st, right? After the All-Star break numbers.
I think the Padres as a whole are going to look forward to next year, because they might be able to have the lineup they thought they would have for the whole year next year. Healthy Maben, healthy Quentin, healthy Grandal,
Corey Lupke. Maybe Whelan, maybe Kelly.
You see Jerko done well in his first full year.
So if Casey Kelly's healthy and he's in the rotation, he's going to have to check his hair at the door.
Well, Chatwood over at Redlands East Valley High School hit .571 as a senior. You can see he swings the bat well, and his average reflects that. He's 10 for 32 this year, hitting .313. 7 runs batted in. That would be in the top 10 for pitchers RBIs in the league. Takes a fastball strike there, 3-2.
Good hack.
Yeah, short stroke right there.
Tony, we talk about pitchers converting to position players, right? Did you ever pitch?
No.
Never. Little league, never.
Nope.
Never told the slab.
Nope.
Wow.
Were you the best player in your little league team?
I wasn't.
High, ball 4. Remember the kid that was?
Yeah, his name was Joe Plummer. Still a good friend of mine. Lives in Seattle. And he was a pitcher, shortstop. Your shortstop's usually your best player. Why'd you play short?
I did when I didn't pitch, and I played a little first base as well.
Usually that's where that guy who, when he pitches and he has to go play a position, he plays short. And being left-handed, you know, Willie Davis was my favorite player. He was an outfielder, so I always wanted to be an outfielder.
Yeah.
I didn't.
The 3-dog.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be Tom Seaver. Gosh, I just love to watch him pitch. You know, not big in stature, but had guts.
Great mechanics.
You know.
I still want to be Tom Seaver. I don't own a vineyard up there in Napa. GTS. George Thomas Seaver. Dickerson fouls that back. He was safe on an error by Headley to lead off the game. So Mr. Plummer up there in Seattle, he watches the game and people talk about Tony Gwynn. Better than he was.
Yeah.
Didn't get my chance.
Well, see, Mudd said the same thing. You know, he got drafted before me. And, you know, it's just how it works out sometimes.
Saw a foul back over the screen. Dickerson, just 24 years of age. Product of Macomb, Mississippi.
You know, as we mentioned earlier, guys, you know, a pitcher has no control over the foul ball, right? The important thing for Tyson Ross here to try to keep the pitch count down is throw his type of pitches, which he has the strength with, which is pounding the strike zone with the fastball.
Ground ball right to Guzman. He goes to second for one. No, that's all they're going to get as Cedeno making that leap as he caught the ball, was off the base, and wisely made sure he got the sure out. Otherwise, that's a definite 3-6-3 double play.
Tony, this is pretty athletic play here.
Wasn't quite sure if he got the bag or not.
You know, I thought he came down on the bag with the ball in his glove.
I thought he did too, but no, he did
what?
not. And he recognized it.
That's right.
Got the lead runner. And that was a tough pitch by Ross right there that Dickerson hit down the line, slider down and in.
So 2 outs. Dickerson at first base. DJ LeMahieu, he grounded into a 4-6-3 double play the first time. Dickerson with only 2 stolen bases. Rockies are second to Milwaukee in the National League in steals.
You know what? As we take a look, he could have completed the double play. Look at CB Buckner. He's pointing right here. He's pointing at the bag, saying he's on the bag. The force. So he could have tried to complete the double play. But I think Cedeno did the right thing.
I think he did too.
Obviously, he didn't think he made contact with the ball.
And I think that's why
exactly
he tagged him, because he knew he didn't touch the bag. He didn't have time to look at CB Buckner to see if he was going to call him out or not.
A ball and a strike to LeMahieu, sitting on a 9-game hitting streak, batting .306 since the All-Star break. Long run for Venable, and that ball lands in the aisleway just beyond the wall down the right field side. Conyers family here. Pleased you're joining us on Saturday night. Entertainment value here at Petco. Bring the entire family, enjoy a ball game. Ooh, good cut by LeMahieu.
Four-seamer. Hey, down the hard belt buckle, and once again, you can't control the foul ball, right? You just try to make your, hey, look out.
A ball, 2 strikes. Got him with a slider. And that's the first strikeout for Tyson Ross. We're at the middle of the third at Petco Park in San Diego. The Padres in front. 1-0 over Colorado.
1 for 1 already tonight and looking to add on right here. Well, hey, it is time now for our AT&T Twitter poll question of the night. We want to hear from you who you think is who had the best, playing career in NL West managers. And there is a great list of guys here. Bud Black, Walt Weiss, Kirk Gibson, Don Mattingly, Bruce Bochy. Just use the hashtag with their last name and player behind it. And, of course, tell us why. But, guys, I think I'm kind of biased because there's only one of those managers that I know as well as Buddy Black, and he's just so humble about it, always joking about his career. But you know it was a pretty good one.
121 wins for Black. So Black, Weiss, Gibson, Mattingly, Bochy. Which manager do you think had the best playing career? No doubt in my mind.
I think this guy right here. No, not Tyler Chatwood or Torrealba.
You think Gibson had the best career?
Well, he was an MVP.
Over Don Mattingly?
Well, he was an MVP. How many two world championships? Mattingly had a really good career.
Mattingly is.
What's that?
He's, in my mind, he's close to he should be a Hall of Fame.
Mattingly?
Yeah. Him and Kirby Puckett's numbers are like almost identical.
Kirby
had 2 championships, and Donnie didn't. But he was as good as anybody I saw for a long time.
Retired a year too early.
We hurt his back. And he hurt his back at a time where, really stunning. He was making that run, to kind of solidify the fact that he was a Hall of Famer. And he hurt his back.
3-2 to Jerko, and a ground ball to third. Arenado there, and one away. Jerko had singled his first time, 1 out, and here's Chase Headley. Arenado 22, Dickerson 24, Blackman 27, LeMahieu 25. Some of the youngsters getting playing time for the Rockies.
Yeah, 2,153 hits for Mattingly.
He hit 49 home runs one year. He hit home runs in like 7 or 8 straight games. He did some things that
he could handle that leather too.
Yes, he was nine-time Gold Gloveman.
So, would you rather have a career like Mattingly or 2 world championships and an MVP under your belt like Gibson?
Well, now, didn't Mattingly play on a World?
Never on a World Series.
Never
team.
on a World Series.
He retired a year too early. Then the Yankees went on that run.
Headley, a fly ball to center, coming up to grab it is Blackman for the second out.
I'll take 2 world championships and an MVP. That's just me.
Okay.
One man's opinion.
All right. Can't knock you. I'm not gonna. I trade every batting title I have for a World Series ring if I could.
Throwing a Gold Glove as well, huh?
Yep.
Guzman walked the first time. That loaded the bases, and Amarista's infield hit off the glove of Chatwood knocked in the run.
But as far as numbers, yes, you guys are correct. Mattingly better numbers, no question.
Yeah.
50th pitch upcoming from Tyler Chatwood. 2 outs, bases empty here in the Padre third. And time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 2013 MLB leaders, most pinch hit RBIs. Guzman top of the list with 12, and he led the major leagues last year with 12.
I give him all the credit. That is a tough way to make a living. Mark Sweeney, I know he knows what I'm talking about. Pinch hitting is difficult.
This ball just over the bag at third base last night. Guzman himself wasn't sure it was a base hit, but the Padre bench explodes in favor of Guzman, who takes strike 3, and that's it for the Padres in the third inning as Chatwood retires the side. 1-2-3. Saquon, real friendly, real close. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. And we go to the fourth inning. Tyson Ross has allowed only a single, a blue pit by Tulowitzki, and a walk. And a ground ball on one hop off a broken bat, and Tulowitzki is gone. One pitch, one out. If I can contrast all the pitches required by Ross against the Dodgers.
Slider, first pitch slider. Look at the tilt and off the end of the bat. I'll tell you what, there are sliders that just kind of sweep, kind of roll up there. And Tyson Ross, man, sharp, tilt, late.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. In your crystal ball, you two men, next year, as Kadire looks at a strike. I'm not asking you for favorites, but just what do you think will happen? Tyson Ross, Andrew Kashner. Who do you think at the end of the year is going to have the best pitching record?
You know, that's like Dick. It's like, who's your favorite child?
I knew that was coming, but that's not the question. I know who your favorite child is.
You know what? I can't answer that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, then we're really saying who has the potential, right? I mean, we've seen them both. Both have great stuff. And Kadire takes the long walk. He strikes out. The second punch out for Ross.
I would say experience has got to be a factor in that too, because these guys are seeing Ross for most of them for the first time. Kashner's been around the league a little bit, and we see the adjustments that he's made. I think both of these guys have a chance to be very successful pitchers.
They could be 15-game winners.
I'd like to see them get the support. You know, that's the big question.
Yeah. Hilton takes ball one.
It's still, you have to put runs on the board. I don't care what kind of pitching you have. You still have to figure out ways to be productive and put runs on the board. Again, to get these guys completely healthy, this team's going to look a whole lot different.
And it's a strike, 1-1. 96 miles an hour. Clayton Richard recovering from that shoulder surgery. Joe Wheeland. Tommy John surgery.
That's where Tyson Ross wants to be. That last pitch, number 2, right on the corner. Trying to expand there, and Helton, such a good eye. We mentioned that earlier. Takes it.
Chase a whole lot of pitches out of the zone.
Sharply hit, one hop to Jerko. He throws out Hilton. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tyson Ross. Padres lead it 1-0.
It was Luchador Mask giveaway night here at Petco Park, and there are fans actually wearing those trying to watch this game. It's a little bit creepy, but hey, they knew it was coming because of the commercial Andrew Kashner did, and it was awesome. Here's him talking about it.
You know, it wasn't something I really wanted to do, but you know, they had asked me to do it, and I didn't really know what was going to happen, what I was doing, but yeah, it came out good. I'm not much on acting, but it was pretty fun.
I hope all you Padres fans saw this. Of course, Cashner had on the mask in the bathroom, pumping himself up in the mirror. I said, hey, how many takes did that take you, Andrew, before you got it right? And he goes, come on, I'm a pro. Just one. What do you think, guys?
He's got some ham in him.
I like the personality, right? Having some guys on the team with some personality.
Amarista drove in the Padre run in the first inning, sends that on a high fly to left field, and Dickerson tucks it away for the first down. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 Padres. In the first inning, they got singles from Denorfia and Jerko, and a 2-out walk to Guzman to load the bases, and Amarista singled off Chatwood's glove to drive in Denorfia with the only run of the game.
Some of the best commercials made, and they're known for this, are the Seattle Mariners. They incorporate all their players in, for ticket sales and giveaways. My favorite was Edgar Martinez when he was an M. He was in like a classroom setting in spring training with all the Latino players in camp, minor league camp. He had a big chalkboard with a pointer, and it was written on the board. He goes, okay, guys, when you get to Seattle, you're going to have to know how to do this. I would like to order a latte, please. How to order a cup of coffee in Seattle. And they would repeat after Edgar. And then get your Mariner tickets by calling whatever. Fun stuff.
2 balls and a strike to Cedeno, 3-1. Chatwood has struck out 2. He's walked 1. Next pitch will be number 60. Oh, they're going to call. Didn't give him time. Cedeno gets a walk. He wanted timeout. Plate umpire Bill Miller said nope, too late. That pitch counts. And a walk with 1 out for Cedeno.
Still up to the umpire to give it to you.
That's right.
He doesn't.
It's his prerogative.
That's right. He doesn't.
Bobby Brown.
Just because you asked for it doesn't mean he has to give it to you.
Yeah.
Probably threw off Chatwood.
Yeah.
So a 1-out walk. Here's Nick Hundley, fly to center field. It was good yesterday in the Union Tribune to see a feature article by Nick Canepa. Nick back in action and missed. And great talent here.
Hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, love Nick.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. And also surveying some of the other pages that the city of San Diego, of 5,700 cities, we're number 5 in convention meetings and tourists coming here.
Nice.
Number 5.
That's great for the economy.
Ahead of New York, ahead of Washington, D.C. And Chatwood fields that cleanly, then throws wildly to Tulowitzki, and so no double play. That was a surefire 1-6-3, but Tulowitzki had to make sure he got the 1 out, and by that time too late to fire on to first.
He did some great footwork here, finding the bag and then getting out of the way of Cedeno. Chatwood throws that ball behind him. He's got to find the bag. I don't know if he ever touched it.
I was just going to say that.
Somewhat like the play Cedeno and the 3-6-3 chance for the Padres. So here's Ross, bunted, and Chatwood threw him out the first time.
Reaches for it there,
swinging
but doesn't get
just
it.
caught the corner with his spikes. Just caught the corner of the bag. Line drive up the middle, low liner for a base hit. Tyson Ross. That rolls over the lineup. Hundley to second, and the leadoff man Venable steps up.
Good tough pitch inside.
Tell you what, Tyson Ross has got the great over the line swing. See him go down and get that ball? Wow.
Well, when he was working on trying to shorten his stroke, that's all they wanted him to do. Just take the barrel to the baseball. Like most pitchers, he's standing there feeling really good about himself. Now I got to hit. They all like to hit.
5th hit of the year for Tyson. 5 hits in the game, all singles for the Padres. Venable in the infield hit to deep short the last time. In the dirt, it gets away, and Hundley will move to third and Ross to second. On the wild pitch. Now base hit equals 2.
He's sitting right here, giving him that cushion he'd like to have here.
Venable, the club leader in RBIs with 51.
Oh, that's a good hammer.
I was going to say, he just hadn't thrown that breaking ball very often. And now you get guys in scoring position. Now here comes the breaking ball. Here's that change.
And this is straight 12-6. That's great rotation. Right down the heart of the plate.
Upstairs, 2-1. Well, a signature season for Will Venable. He'll turn 31 in the offseason. The man from Princeton has been a Tiger with a bat. Takes it low, 3-1. First base open. Chris DeNorfia on deck.
Pretty good 2-1 pitch by Chapman. Challenge him inside.
Could have been called a strike right at the knees. Pulled the string.
See, this is where I think a changeup would come into play nicely. He's seen the fastball. He's seen the elevated fastball. He's seen the hammer twice. Now to give the illusion, and I'm talking for a strike too. It doesn't have to be that nasty.
Well, first base is open,
right?
So you don't have to throw it for a strike, but you put it close enough, maybe he'll swing it. I don't like that pitch right there. Two-seamer, third base side of the rubber, trying to sneak it in the inside half. He makes a mistake out over the plate.
Got away with one there.
Did.
Full count. 70 pitches now. Chapwood. Second and third for the Padres. 2 gone. Ground ball right side. Helton able to glove it. Now the throw to Chapwood in time for the out. Helton can still field his position well.
Both up each week. Join Laura McKeeman as she talks with Coach Mike McCoy and his team about the road ahead, from the front office to down on the field. Chargers Insider Thursday at 3:30 and 10 on Fox Sports San Diego.
Tyson Ross, solid 4 innings for the big right-hander. He struck out 2. He's walked 1, allowed only a single hit, a bloop single by Tulowitzki in the first inning. He's walked a man.
Oh, he's got the mask and the shirt. I'll tell you what, guys, it's one of the most popular items. Remember Arizona had it, Dick? Remember the luchador mask giveaway?
Yeah. Just really disappointed that wasn't able to pick up a half a dozen of those.
I know some people.
Arenado, Torrealba, and Blackman for the Rockies here in the top of the 5th inning. Arenado grounded to second his first time. Padres 1 run, 5 hits. They've left 6. 3 of them at third base tonight. No runs, 1 hit. 2 left for Colorado. One thing common between Tyson Ross and Andrew Kastner: easy gas.
Yep. I was just thinking the same thing. Not violent deliveries. Ball jumps out of the hand of both of those guys. Andrew Kastner at 96, 97. There's the slider. Great tight rotation.
Wow. The spin that he's able to put on the slider. I don't normally think of it having that much rotation. Curveball, yeah, but
that's the dot that the old time hitters used to say when they threw a slider, there was a spot on the ball that never spun. Now, as a hitter, I never saw that.
Popped up. Shallow and right. Angling is Jerko behind Guzman into foul territory. 1 away.
See that spot on the ball that looks like it's not moving? They used to call that a dot. I'm not real happy because he got one in the middle of the plate.
A big loop in that swing. That was a hanger, wasn't it?
It was a hanger, but after you've seen the one before that,
right,
you're looking for it again. You don't think it's going to be hanging in the middle of the plate.
Torrealba fly to right field his first time. 94 misses wide. Well, tomorrow, 12:30 on Military Sunday, our broadcast time here on Fox Sports San Diego. It'll be Ian Kennedy. He's 3-1 as a Padre against Chad Bettis, 0-3, the rookie right-hander for the Rockies. As we mentioned, Roy Oswalt also expected to share the pitching duties with Bettis tomorrow. That had Torrealba backing away. Working quickly, Tyson Ross, huh?
Throwing strikes.
And it appears Josh Burns, general manager of the Padres, made himself a solid deal with the Oakland A's, getting Tyson Ross, Andrew Warner, Andy Perino going to the A's in the dirt. 3-2.
So Darren Balsley's face just lights up anytime you just mention Tyson Ross's name.
No, he thinks he has Cy Young potential. Full count. Fly ball center field. Amarista has to give some ground, then eases into right center for the out. We have Charlie Blackman. Think about what Darren Balsley has done with new pitchers.
Yeah.
Here's a good example. Tyson Ross, they see the quality. He just couldn't seem to get people out with the Oakland A's, even though he had obviously good stuff.
You know, you look at Darren Balsley, believe it or not, he's been here, what now, 10 years? And you could go through and look at the pitchers that the Padres have acquired, and there's been significant improvement. One guy that comes to mind is Kevin Correa.
Yep.
Remember Kevin?
Yeah.
Little erratic when he was with the Giants, kind of up and down a lot, reliever, starter, reliever. He came here to San Diego, and you know what? He had a respectable San Diego Padre career, and he's still pitching in the big leagues, having a good career.
Eric Stoltz?
Eric Stoltz, same thing recently.
Another fly ball. Shallow in right center. Amarista. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Tyson Ross. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 in the book. And welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning. The Padres with a 1-0 lead against the Colorado Rockies. It'll be Chris Denorfia, Jed Jerko, and Chase Headley. Speaking of Jerko, if you were with us for the Padres pregame show, he and Alonzo Powell, a little debate over the West Virginia-Oklahoma game today, and they're now late in the 3rd quarter in that one, and the Sooners lead the Mountaineers 13-7. We'll keep our eyes on the final for you. Chris Denorfia singled and scored the only run of the game in the 1st inning. With 1 out, he singled. Jerko moved him to 2nd with a base hit, and eventually Amarista's infield hit brought Denorfia home with the game's only run. He struck out the last time. Up the middle. Tulowitzki there near the bag. 1 away. Jed Jerko, a line single to left and a ground out to 3rd.
Guy working a little mojo right there. One little Padre love. Now, was that the luchador mask and the fedora, or was that his own fedora? Was that the giveaway? That would be a good combination. I think that's his own.
That looks to be his own. Yeah. Out of play.
Jed was thinking about right field there, right center.
High pop foul. That heads back toward the lower deck.
Was that high fastball again? Seems like either sliders down and away or high heaters.
Looks like he brought his own baseball or bought one at the concession stand. Now he's got the real deal. Reaching out and pecking that fly ball to right field. And Kadire there to grab the 2nd out. And we'll bring up cleanup hitter Chase Headley, who's lined to center and flied to center. Padres left the bases loaded after scoring 1 in the 1st inning. They had runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 4th inning. Venable grounded out. Meanwhile, the Rockies against Tyson Ross have not advanced a man into scoring position.
Tony, we talked about the rotation of the slider. Dick, you mentioned it. There's that 4-seam rotation on the 12-6 curveball that Chatwood possesses.
1-2 now to Chase Headley.
So Tyson Ross's slider, the pitch for the right-hander, the 12-6 curveball for Tyler Chatwood. A 96-75 pitch comparison as far as the speeds. Oh,
2-2 to Headley.
Bad hop.
Ground ball up the middle, deflected by Chatwood. Tulowitzki completes the 1-6-3 putout. Both pitchers mowing them down. We've completed 5. The Padres lead by 1. As we go into the 6th inning, Tyson Ross, 71 pitches through 5 tonight. Took him 105 for 5 innings against the Dodgers. Pitching economy or pitching efficiency? Darren Bowlesy with his thoughts.
For me, efficiency is getting major league outs any way you can. And if you come out of the game, whether it's 5 innings, 9 innings, of course we like our guys to go 9.
Absolutely.
That's the goal. But, you know, it's not his fault he's throwing power pitches that are being fouled back, swings and misses. Whenever you strike out 10 guys, your pitch count's going to go up. And I can't ask him not to strike out guys. So Tyson was mostly 4-seamers the other day, which happened to be fouled back instead of being a sinker baller that are pounded in the ground. So to me, efficiency is the 5 innings he threw. Of course, we'd rather have him go 7 or 8, but it just wasn't meant to be that day.
Well, he's got to be pleased with his economy, his efficiency today. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chatwood leading off here in the 6th. He walked the first time. One of only 2 base runners allowed by Tyson Ross. The other, the single blooped into left field by Tulowitzki in the 1st inning. He went around.
He did. Be fair to say that Tyson Ross going hybrid tonight, right? Be a little bit more economical as the high heater. Chatwood likes it, but it's past the point of no return. Cannot hold up.
And strike 3 call. Fastball gets Chatwood. Strikeout number 3 for Ross. That's 9 in a row retired by the right-hander from Oakland, California, and the University of California, Berkeley.
So I wonder if you ask Tyson, does he like pitching this way, or you like to punch out, like to strike guys out? Being efficient, power slider, see you later, good night now.
You know what? after being around Tyson and talking to him, I would think he would pick tonight's game.
I would think so too. And the reason why I say that is because he's cruised through 5. Pitch count is right about where you'd want it to be. And at this rate, you're going to go, if you can pitch this efficiently, you're going to pitch 7, 8 innings every time out. That gives your team a better chance to win. But it's like Darren Balls, he says, sometimes, you're throwing that fastball and guys are fouling off. You can't control how, guys are attacking your stuff.
No one getting fat on Ross's deliveries. 197.
No, sir.
That's lean stuff. Fly ball to left. Long run for Denorfia. That ball carrying over his head and against the wall. And Denorfia scrambling after it and holding Dickerson to a double. That ball jumping off the bat of Dickerson. It looked as if Denorfia had a good shot at it.
I bet if you ask him if he should have caught this is a changeup that gets elevated.
And Tony, you've played the outfield. I can't tell you honestly, as he draws leather on the thumb part of the glove. Don't know what his first jump was. Don't know if lost track of the ball. I mean, it looks like it was definitely a catchable ball for Chris.
Yep.
But he's playing left field. The big difference in right, huh?
Man, that's what I was going to say.
That was my question to the Hall of Fame right fielder here.
The angles are a lot different than left as compared to right. To me, left is the hardest position to play out of the 3. You get left-hand hitters, that ball's supposed to slice back to you.
LeMahieu fouls it off. He has struck out and grounded into a double play.
See where he started. He's just shading him towards the line. And he just kind of took that one angle a couple of steps too long. He should have veered off a little bit. But, again, when you're going from center field to right field to left field, and not to make excuses for him, but, sometimes.
No, I'll bet you Chris would say, you know what? Kind of a bad route. I should have had that ball.
I'm sure that's exactly what he was saying.
He's very accountable when it comes to that. In fact, what was the game, Dick? I wasn't doing the game, but it was out. He really felt badly. And he met the media after the game and he said, you know what? That was my bad.
That was in right field, and he took a circuitous route. Yeah. A ball and a strike to LeMahieu. First time the Rockies have had a man in scoring position tonight. Fastball missing. 2-1.
I know when you make a mistake like that, if you're standing there in the outfield, you're saying, oh, come on, somebody pick me up. Pick me up. Let's get out of this thing and pick me up this time.
After 9 in a row retired by Ross, having to pitch from the stretch. Lifted out of play.
When you take a look at the Fox tracks right to LeMahieu, that tells you even though there are balls outside the zone, Tyson Ross is doing a great job of pitching to the L. I remember one of the things I learned a long time ago, Bob Shaw, pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. He wrote a book and he said pitch to the L. Righties there, right? The L, backwards L, and the L here, right? You stay out of that heart of the zone in the middle. That's where all the high averages are, right? You remember Bob Shaw?
Absolutely, right-hander.
Yeah.
Foul tip, just got a piece of that, did LeMahieu.
Pitched with Early Wynn and those guys back to the White Sox later in his career. 59 White Sox, World Series against the Dodgers.
Dodgers had just moved to Los Angeles. The games in LA played in the Coliseum.
That's when Al Smith got the beer showered out of the left field.
That's one of the great shots of all time. That was a shot for those of you who perhaps didn't see it. Left field at Comiskey Park. Somebody had a beer on the wall, and as a fly ball or a home run was hit, I'm assuming a gentleman tipped the beer, and the photographer caught the whole stream of beer coming right down on Al Smith as he was trying to field the ball. Ross and Hundley now on the same page. Tulowitzki on deck. And a full count. First trouble spot for Tyson Ross all night. In a 1-0 game, man at second, 3-2. on LeMahieu, and a tough hitter waiting his turn, Tulowitzki. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He chased. And that's strikeout number 4.
Man, that slider's so good. He doesn't have to throw it for a strike. Just starts it in the zone. Look where it ends up.
Man. And see how he kind of stayed upright there. Didn't leak towards the first base line.
Weak swing from LeMahieu. Here's Tulowitzki. Looped a single to shallow left in the first and tapped back to the mound on a broken bat the last time. Ball 1. Below his average, 295 with 2 outs, runners in scoring position overall this year, hitting .314. First base open, but Michael Kadire, the second best average in the entire league, is on deck. Ex-49er, Cal State Long Beach, Tulowitzki.
That whole infield from Long Beach State is in the big league. Longburi was the third baseman, and Tulowitzki was the shortstop, and they had the second baseman who was
hit in Washington Nationals.
With the Nationals. What is his name? He was the second baseman. Espinosa, right.
Pretty good infield.
Yeah.
3-0. He might be swinging. He will be now if he likes it.
Is it Jared Weaver on that team too?
Later on, yeah.
Later on.
Jared Weaver. Vargas with the Angels now. They're loaded.
Tying run at second. 2 outs. Dickerson at second. And ball 4. Second free ticket of the night from Tyson Ross. And Kadire the hitter. And Balsley out to talk with a 26-year-old Ross.
You know, I don't think this is going to be mechanical. I think this is going to be either strategy. You got to force at any base. You got 2 outs. You've got the best hitter in the league right now, Michael Kadire.
I think they're just going back over what he did to him last time. He didn't have very good swings the last at bat when he struck him out.
First time the Rockies have had 2 men aboard in a given inning. They did have 2 men reach safely in the first, but a double play wiped out Dickerson, who was safe on Headley's error.
Dick, I stand corrected. Before this ball game, Chris Johnson had by 1 point at 3:30. Like Michael Kadire before this game, 3:29. I'm guessing first pitch slider.
And the ground ball broken back to short. Cedeno with a short out to Jerko. And a shattered bat, evidence of another great pitch by Tyson Ross. Inning over. And here's your Fan Diego fans of the game. Luchador mask giveaway tonight. Fans enjoying wearing those masks, men and women alike. Halloween coming around next month. Those will come in handy. Guzman leading off here in the bottom of the 6th, and here's a final out of the top of the 6th inning.
And it was indeed a slider. Darren Balsley had the visit. First pitch slider. Bat snaps in half, and Cedeno going the short way for the out. That is clutch pitching by Tyson Ross.
Guzman has walked and he struck out.
Hey, Dick, you know how you always say smooth,
yes,
like 4 O's?
Yeah.
That was clutch. So it's like 4 U's in there.
Fouls it off his front foot. Well, Ross has allowed just the 2 hits, a blue single by Tulowitzki and the double that Denorfia almost caught. He's walked 2, solid 6 innings.
I'll tell you what, Tyson Ross, nicer kid than Tyson Ross. I mean, there's a lot of good eggs on this team, but probably one of the most polite kids in that dugout, Tyson Ross.
His kid brother Joe Ross is active in the playoffs in the Midwest League with Fort Wayne. Won a game for the Fort Wayne team, the Tin Caps. Fort Wayne playing tonight in the 2nd round. They open the best 2 of 3 against South Bend tonight. Meanwhile, in the Texas League, San Antonio won in extra innings last night, 7-6, so they lead 2 games to 1, best 3 of 5. Ground ball toward the hole. Arenado. He's a good looking fielder. Arenado closes the gap, and there's 1 away. Brings up Amarista. First sign of activity in the bullpen. Nick Vincent first up. Amarista, an infield hit off the glove of Chatwood that drove in the game's only run back in the 1st inning. Fly to left field in the 4th. Nice thing about this matchup, both Tyler Chatwood and Tyson Ross are getting the ball and throwing it.
I was going to say, both of them doing a really good job. This could easily be a 0-0 game right here.
Bunted foul. That takes Chatwood to 90 pitches in the game.
I'm sure if you look at see it's 90 total pitches. I bet the most of them came in that 1st inning for Chatwood.
In the dirt. Did he go? No. Dale Scott there at 3rd.
Okay, I'm going to call this honestly. He didn't go. What do you think, Dick? First time all year.
He'd have been out of here if he'd made contact.
I was going to say, I was going to ask him that when Chatwood tried to check his swing.
Oh, he went.
And, yeah. I thought you might give him.
Hey, now. We got that same pitch.
I thought you might give him some love because he was a pitcher, but.
4-seamer. Not that close. He got all the way nicely. But.
3-2. And he fouls that away.
Tony, who was the one guy that buzzed your tower? I mean, I'm not talking purposely, but anybody ever close?
Not really.
No?
Not really. Can't. Kurt Schilling hit me on purpose one time, but I can't remember anybody.
Ground ball left side to Tulowitzki. Room service hop. 2 away.
You said he hit you on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Care to elaborate?
Well, we were playing the Phillies. I was playing the Phillies in a 4-game series, and I was like 8 for 11. My second base, Ben Rivera's pitching. They think I was tipping signs to the hitters.
Ah, I gotcha.
And nobody said anything. Rivera, we were beating him pretty good that night, so he jumped off the mound and was yelling at me. And I told him, not giving your signs. Don't need to give your signs. So the next day, shilling it on purpose. And he was on the radio telling this story, too, because Jim Riggleman asked me, Andy Bennis was pitching for us after he hit me, if I wanted him to hit Chili. And I said, no, I'm going to get him myself. I said, from now on, you throw a ball over the plate, I'm going right back up the middle. So for the rest of my career, I tried to hit a ball right back up the middle.
I like it.
Arenado, he's a vacuum cleaner there. The throw's offline, but Helton, as he has done so many times, knows how to lead the bag and make the tag. We've completed 6.
The 7th inning, Mark Sweeney, Mike Pomeranz with you. Working on that post-game show when we see after the final out. Tyson Ross to this point is the story. We said in the pregame show he needed to be more efficient. Tonight it looks like he is.
Mike continues the dominant stuff, and you can see the progression of Tyson Ross every start. Today he's more efficient. Yes, he has a lot of pitches, but he is more efficient today. Devastating slider, power fastball on the edges, but also with movement.
When we see you in the post-game show, we're going to talk more about Tyson. Hopefully a little bit more offense as well. And Buddy Black, you'll get inside the clubhouse, hear from him. But we'll also have part 2 of that fantastic interview. Mark Grant, the legend, Tony Gwynn, and Todd Helton, who is up to bat, guys.
All right, look forward to that, Mike and Mark. And, of course, also they'll be saluting once again the East Lake Little League USA Little League World Champions who are here with us tonight. Helton takes that one just off the plate. 1-1. Good news for the Padres, at least statistically, based on this year's record. The Rockies, when they are trailing after 6 innings this year, are 0-35 on the road. But they trail by only 1. Helton with a home run last night in the 9th. He's flied out and a hard ground ball to second against Tyson Ross. 1 ball, 2 strikes. East Lake, the United States champions, of course, losing in the final game to the Japanese team from Tokyo. And Tokyo making the headlines today. They've been the recipient of the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. Fly ball right field, that's into the corner. And that ball will bounce up and into the jack deck for a ground rule double. Helton gets the Rockies in scoring position, leading off the 7th.
Oh, Tyson Ross has got good slider working tonight. First pitch missing. Oh, actually, he gets the high strike. I stand corrected. Trying to keep the ball consistently away to Todd Helton in the hole 1 and 2. Couldn't put him away at the backdoor breaking ball, and that's elevated. Todd Helton's good enough to get the top hand on top of that. Even though he's a little long in the tooth at 40 years old, still quick to that fastball up and in.
Double number 585.
That ties him with Rafael Palmeira, number 16 all time. Arenado trying to move that runner to third. Has grounded out and fouled out. 1-0 here in the top of the 7th. Padres lead. Only the 3rd hit allowed by Tyson Ross. Swinging. Guzman in on the grass, backs up a little bit.
Forcing fastball away. Arenado trying to go that way, it looks like. And with that said, the positioning of the outfield that way. Amarista, first base side of second base. Aki.
Playing pretty shallow for Arenado.
Yeah.
He's got some power. 10 home runs this year.
Nice.
Tied him up inside.
I wasn't really convinced Arenado was looking to bunt right there. Helping not to switch those guys out at second.
So 100 pitches for Tyson Ross. But he's gotten the Padres into the 7th inning. Struck him out. Another fastball. Still has the good velocity. 95 on that one.
Going up the ladder. Tyson Ross, 2 strikes, 4-seam fastball, top rung, outer half, and Arenado. Swing and a miss.
So 1 out brings up Yorvit Torrealba. Veteran catcher has flied out twice to right and to center. Smart hitter. Ross is scheduled to hit second in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But Black would like to see him get out of this jam. Complete 7, then use the pinch hitter.
You know, guys, a couple of factors here for Tyson Ross, and they're both positive. One is the velocity on the fastball. That was pitch number 103, still up there about 93, 95. And also the slider. Still has the good tilt on that slider. His highest pitch count this year, 109.
Here comes 104.
Look out.
Coming in hot beyond the Padre dugout. 1-2 to Torrealba. Apparently she didn't spill a drop, so everything's okay. Eyes as big as he could find them.
Line drive right field, charged by Venable, who makes the catch. Back to second base, double play. Todd Helton thought that was a base hit. He was going to tie the game, but Venable scrapes that glove on the grass and comes up and completes a 9-6 double play.
Terrific defense by Will Venable, the 9-6 double play, and now it's time for the Padres to put up some runs, and time for us to check in with the AT&T Twitter poll results. We asked you earlier which NL West manager had the best playing career, and it looks like by the slimmest of margins, it is Don Mattingly, which is who you guys thought it should be, 31% there, but hey, Buddy Black right behind him, 25%, and Kirk Gibson there with 23%. So Don Mattingly, you guys were talking about him, pretty impressive career.
And the Poway pollsters got in there with 8% for Bochy.
Yeah.
Tyson Ross completing 7 innings, gets the line drive double play. This night may be through. He's scheduled to hit second. And Mark Kotze is in the on-deck circle. And a new pitcher for Colorado, Manuel Corpus, his 22nd outing. He'll face Hundley, the pinch hitter, and Venable. You say the pinch hitter because Bud Black's been known to send Kotze out there and then change his mind and bring in somebody else. Pulled right off the bag at third. Long throw by Arenado. Let's go back to the big play made by Venable defensively. Helton, he takes off. He thinks that's going to be a base hit.
And you know, that could have been a dangerous play off the bat. It's slicing.
I think we saw that conversation between Buddy Black and Dave Roberts. And I'm sure that's what he was asking him. You know, the pitch count's getting up. You see Will Venable did a nice job of shading in and playing for that ball to be hit like that. He made a great play and he hit the double play, get out of it.
Mark Kotze pinch hitting for Ross. So Tyson's night is through, as is Chatwood, who goes 6 innings, allows just the 1 run earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Gregerson getting ready. Chatwood very effective. In fact, his own failure to field the ball hit by Amarista back in the box first inning cost him the only run in the game. Good looking pitcher, don't you think, at 23?
He's impressive tonight. He did a nice job mixing in that fastball. Overhand curveball, good changeup.
2-0 to Kotze. Hit well to left center field. Blackman going back. On the run, makes the catch at the edge of the track. Kotze gave it a ride for the second out. Brings up Will Venable.
We're talking about hitting the ball right on the butt. Mark Kotze hits that ball right on the butt. Blackman tracks it down, and all you have to do is come back and say, hey, that's good at bat.
Yep.
Hit the ball hard. That's what I want to do. Sure, I'd love to get a hit right now.
Venable, an infield hit in 3 at-bats. So Tyson Ross and Tyler Chatwood, their nights complete. Ross goes 7 innings, shutout ball, only 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. All 5 hits allowed by Chatwood, singles. Rockies have a couple of doubles, but nothing in the R column. Two and 1 now to Venable. 9 straight Padres retired since the last hit. That was by the pitcher Tyson Ross, with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Another terrific quality start for Ross. And the count goes 3-1.
Pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher. Manuel Corpus goes by 2 nicknames, Writ of Habeas or Christie. Choose whichever one you like.
Out in front as he throws him a changeup, 3-1. From Panama City, Panama. 31 years of age, Corpus. first came up with the Rockies in 2006. Foul just out of the glove of Torrealba.
That's the slider. And look at that, Tony and Dick, on the outside part of the plate, working down and on the edge to Will Venable.
Not going to make a mistake on the inner half of the plate.
See the rotation there? That's trying to backdoor the slider. And Torrealba cannot hold on. Another chance for Will.
And another foul ball. Off speed.
Big mistake. Will Venable has punished people making mistakes on the inner half.
Pulled down the right field line, but that's going to hook foul. Three and two to Venable. Ninth pitch of this at bat, and ball four, well earned. Will has a stolen base tonight at 17th.
Well, we want to let our viewers know that Fox Sports 1 is available on all TV providers. And if you want to know where Fox Sports 1 is on your area, where you can find it, just go to foxsport1.com, foxsports1.com to find it out, where it's showing in your area. You won't want to miss it. It's awesome.
Wednesday night, or Wednesday day after the game, got home in time to tune in to the local channel for Fox Sports San Diego, and that Fox Sports 1, they kind of a sampling of what they're doing. Really very good programming. Piece of everything. Denorfia with Venable at first. With 2 outs, Venable a threat to go. Denorfia scored the game's only run. 1 out single in the first came around on the infield hit by Amarista. The breaking ball. 1-0 to Dino. Jed Jerko on deck. Here's Jose Gregerson in the top half of the 8th inning with Blackman, the pitcher's spot, and Dickerson scheduled. That's in there. The attendance announced tonight, 25,272. That'll get the Padres over the 1,950,000 mark. A ball and a strike. Up the middle. Tulowitzki right at the bag will get the force himself. 7 in the books. Cool Hand Luke coming on, 8th inning on a 1-0 game. Stars, the United States Little League champions, arriving here at Petco Park and meeting the big league stars. Carlos Quentin and Andrew Kashner. Yandra Alonso with some tips. Casey Kelly and Houston Street, and then Grant Holman throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. They gave him that big glove of the Friars. I think that threw him off. He was a little disappointed, didn't throw a strike. But what a nice touch. The Padres were wearing the yellow caps, the West champions here.
Yeah.
The yellow, and to signify their support of the East Lake group. What a job they did. Came close against a team from Japan in the championship final, but to be the best in the United States of all the little leaguers, how about that?
Yeah, it's quite a run.
And then just to the south, the Tijuana team finishing third overall. Gregerson will face Blackman in the pitcher's spot. In the on-deck circle is Ryan Wheeler. And then the top of the order, Dickerson.
Luke twirled the frame last night, 1 strikeout. That was in the 8th as well.
Blackman grounded to first and fly to center against Tyson Ross. One and one.
I think these Rocky hitters are happy to see Ross out of there. They take their shot. Gives Gregerson and Street here.
.63 games this year for Gregerson, 1 less than the leader Dale Thayer. Deep into the hole and through into left field. A leadoff single for Charlie Blackman. Well, the Rockies have the leadoff man aboard, and here comes Ryan Wheeler, the pinch hitter.
Blackman just fought that ball off in the left field.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
See how manager Walt Weiss plays it here. Will he try to bunt Blackman over and give a couple of shots? No, he's swinging away, and that's a ground ball to second. Jerko to second for 1 and back to first, not in time. Another broken bat. Wheeler safe on the fielder's choice. 4-6 on the put out of Blackman.
Yeah, on the road down by a run, you want your hitter swinging away, and that's one of the things. You got the ground ball, but not the double play. Nice turn. And Cedeno doing some acrobatics there tonight. You get the lead runner. Just glad he didn't airmail that one, keeping that runner at first base.
Pinch runner for Wheeler. Charlie Culberson. And the leadoff man Corey Dickerson, safe on an error, safe on a fielder's choice, and doubled over Denorfia's head in left field in the 6th inning. Oh, Weiss has a ton of left-handed hitters, doesn't he? Going to have Dexter Fowler on the bench with a sore knee. Carlos Gonzalez, bad finger. So he can't grip the bat fully, but can play defense or pinch run, as he did last night. Played left field in the 9th inning.
In September baseball, you get these call-ups. Gives you a few more situations to use guys.
There's Cargo. Left field and dying on the warning track. Off the head of the bat of Dickerson, who seemingly goes almost every swing to left field. Well, looks like your ticket showed up, Mark.
Is that Elvis on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's that on the right?
I don't know. Looks like one of my high school teachers.
Grandpa Festus. Buckaroo. Hundley and Gregerson not in sync, so they're going to make sure. One out here in the top of the 8th inning. Culberson, the pinch runner at first base. Padres scored in the first inning and trying to hang on to the big run. Make that hold up here in game 2 of this series as they try to make amends for the way the Padres have played against the Rockies earlier in the year. Colorado came in with a 12-4 record against San Diego.
There they are, Dick. There's Elvis on the right.
Nice look.
Yeah.
Strike. 0-2.
Go with the fastball.
Denorfia in left field, tucked over near the line, expecting Dickerson to hit that way.
Boy, you talk about straight away, center field, right up the gut.
Ooh,
nice pitch.
Guzman, yeah. It's a tough throw to handle.
I've got him for pick the stick. I think I should get a point for that. Am I begging?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
That's cool. I'll admit it.
Begging can be rewarding, I understand.
Absolutely.
Two strikes on Dickerson. Fly ball to right. Toward the corner goes Venable, running out of room there and makes the catch in front of the Petco porch. And always dangerous when the ball is pulled sharply down the line because the porch is the shortest part of Petco Park. They hit a home run.
Will did a nice job. He recognized where he was. He was aware of the runner at first going back to tag. Does a nice job getting the ball back in and keeping him at first base.
Yeah, the quick flash look as he was on his way.
So 2 outs to LeMahieu, who's grounded into a double play and struck out twice against Ross. So a tough 3 at bats for this young guy who has a 9-game hitting streak. Runner goes. Big jump. Hundley's throw won't be even close. Culberson steals it. He had a running start.
Really
outstanding jump.
Yep.
His second steal of the season.
Straight steal. He never even looked in. He knew he had a great jump. He's probably going to steal it. And so now they'll try to knock it down as an infielder here. If there's a ball headed to the outfield.
In front of the plate, that's a fair ball.
Oh, I thought it hit him.
No, now Bill Miller waves it off. At first he pointed to the ball as if it was a fair ball and then waved it off. Yep, hits him in the right thigh. Well, it had a lot of backspin on it, didn't it?
Yeah, he was still in the batter's box, so a dead ball. Now if he starts running out of the box and that ball hits him, out.
If he's out.
If he's out of the box.
Yeah.
Right.
Completely out.
1 ball, 1 strike to LeMahieu. Line drive, base hit. Denorfia charges. Here comes Culberson around third. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe. Ball gets away, and LeMahieu's all the way to third base, and Gregerson finally corrals the ball in front of the dugout. Well, that was a risky play, but Culberson, placed in the game as a pinch runner because of his speed, was waved home. Denorfia made a throw just up the line a little bit.
Like it short hopped Hundley a little bit. No, it's
he
it's
had
there
it.
in
He
time.
just got knocked out of the glove.
Knocked his glove off.
Yep.
See, home plate umpire calling him out, but he knocked his glove and the ball out.
What a bad break.
Yeah, he would have been out.
Yep.
And we're lucky Hundley didn't get hurt on a play like that, too, because that was straight wrist and glove he got going head first.
They're going to rule that an error on Hundley. No RBI.
Wow.
Pretty tough
Tough
scoring.
error right there.
We'll see if they change their mind about that. And on the play, LeMahieu all the way to third, and here's Tulowitzki. So a 1-1 tie, and now the Rockies a chance to grab the lead with 2 outs here in the 8th. LeMahieu keeps his hitting streak alive.
Well, it's a tough error, but they have to account for the extra bases, right? It's just to hang with them. The ball came loose, the glove came off. It was a good throw because he had it in his glove, right? That's just one of those bad. You have to account for the extra bases somehow.
Well, I can understand getting LeMahieu over to third on the error, but shouldn't he get an RBI, LeMahieu, on the? That's a tough play.
Well, maybe they're taking into consideration.
If they're giving him an error, they can't give him an RBI because they're saying the runner was out.
Right.
So, yeah, it's tough for LeMahieu, but it's also tough for Hundley because he makes the catch, he puts the tag on him, he can't help it. The guy knocks his glove off his hand. But you're right, you have to account for LeMahieu getting the third.
Tulowitzki takes a strike. It's 2-2.
Tony, I think you make a great point. I mean, we've seen disastrous injuries when the wrist gets hooked like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he was going to be punched out by Bill Mueller, the umpire.
He's going to ring him.
So 2-2. And a full count to Tulo. Yeah, there again, Tyson Ross gets no support, gets 1 run, pitches a 7 innings, a shutout ball, and won't get a decision. So you look at his record 3-7, you say, gee, he didn't have a very good year. And then you go back and dissect his starts. No luck at all. He got him. Tulo threw the bat away, thought he had ball 4. Bill Miller says no, that's on the outside corner, strike 3. But the Rockies have scored. It's a 1-1 tie. Where the healthy pets go. By Mossy Toyota, thousands of vehicles, one trusted name. Mossy.com. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Matt Belisle comes in to pitch for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 1-1 tie. It's an unearned run. It's a wacky play at the plate. But you have to, as an official scorer, figure out how a run scores and how a man advances over to third. So Hundley is hit with the error, and there's a long high fly ball off the bat. A Jerko, it's out of here. Jerko goes opposite field and touches them all.
Really like to see that by Jerko.
Number 17 for Jed Jerko.
Entirely capable of doing that a whole lot more often. Fastball out over the plate, going right with it.
And by moving the fences in that 10-12 feet, that's a home run for Jerko into the jack deck, and it's 2-1 Padre lead, just as it was last night after the Padres lost their lead. The home run by Chase Headley. And speaking of Headley, he rolls that one to second base, and there's one away. Headley 0 for 4 tonight. So Jerko's 17th home run of the season, second on the club, the rookie from West Virginia.
And the left-hander, the first one, top of the step, giving him congratulations. Now that's getting on top of a fastball, taking it the opposite way. Nicely done by Jed Jerko. Start calling that the jerk deck.
Guzman has walked, struck out, and grounded to third. Padres have hit more home runs this year than all of last season. Deja vu, these two games. Helton hits the home run. Guzman strikes out. Ninth inning last night. Headley comes up. First man in the bottom of the ninth. Ties it with a home run. The Rockies get a run in the top half of this eighth inning when the pinch runner Culberson knocks the ball and the glove off the hand of Hundley to tie it. And the first man up, Jerko, homers, and it's the Padres back in front 2-1.
Yeah, first pitch, too. First pitch he sees. Like Hilton last night. First pitch he saw from Houston Street and went out to center.
And Marista singled in a run in the first inning on an infield hit. Just like that, only it went off the glove of Chatwood with the bases loaded for the run. Jed Jerko, the rookie from West Virginia, the Mountaineer. He sends one off the front edge of the jack deck, and the Padres lead 3-2, 2-1. Rockies get a run in the 8th, and Jed Jerko hits the home run, and it's 2-1 as we look ahead to the final game of this homestand and the 3-game series. It'll be Chad Bettis. He's 0-3 this year, the rookie right-hander, against Ian Kennedy since coming over to the Padres. Kennedy with a 3-1 record. Always says pitch well here at Petco Park. Hope you'll join us if you're not here in person. 12:30 our broadcast time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Number 17, the home run column for the rookie Chad Jerko. Certainly has lived up to the power numbers that he posted in the minor leagues. Houston Street trying to collect the save. He got the win last night.
Yeah, always tough for a closer when you give up the lead, and Houston Street would have much rather chalked up another save, but he will take the victory. And tough duty right here. Kadire, Helton, Arenado due up for the Rockies.
Kyle Blanks comes in to play first base. That's the only defensive change. Switch made there, so should the game continue into the bottom of the 9th inning, Blanks would bat third, placed in the 9th spot in the batting order. So Street facing the middle 3. All 3 with power. Kadire has 18 homers, Helton 13, and Arenado with 10. Ball 1. Fastball starts Kadire, who's 0 for 6 in the series. Grounded out twice and struck out against Tyson Ross. Lines it to left field, and Denorfia almost handcuffed on that. Short hops it, knocks it down, and Kadire with a rope to left greets Street.
After the game, stay tuned for Padres Live. Join Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney, and the crew as they break down this ball game and talk about all the stats and all the action. Padres Live after the game right here on Fox Sports San Diego, brought to you by Cox.
Todd Helton has one of the 6 hits, a double into the right field corner the last time. Hit the home run in the 9th inning last night. Off Houston Street.
These are the kind of situations you really don't want to see this guy at the plate. Good eye, ability to use the whole field.
Start him off with an off-speed pitch here because of the first pitch fastball last
night.
First
pitch fastball last night.
I'm guessing first pitch changeup. Just a hunch. Fastball, 89.
He had a good rip.
He wasn't thinking like you.
That's why he's the pitcher he is.
He sat on the fastball right there and found it straight back.
When it comes straight back means you were very close to squaring it up.
Well, one thing he doesn't want to do in this situation is hit a ground ball at somebody because it's probably going to be a double play. But
looks like a changeup here.
Lifted to left. Denorfia calls off Amarista. Runner tags, but Kadire stays right at first base, 1 away. And timeout for our Carl's Jr. star of the game. He won't get the decision, but Tyson Ross deserving of a big star again tonight. 7 shutout innings allowed, only 3 hits and a couple of walks. Struck out 5. Tyson Ross, our Carl's Jr. star of the game.
He's getting better and better. Confidence is growing. Seeing it right before our eyes. 12th start this year. Can't wait till next year where he gets about 30, 33 starts. Hopefully he stays healthy. Good night in the big leagues for Tyson Ross.
And we may in the distant future be talking about the Ross boys on the same pitching staff.
Kind of like the Necro brothers, maybe. Yeah. Different types of pitchers, but still.
Highly touted Joe Ross, a high draft pick, working his magic at Fort Wayne this season. First pitch strike to Arenado, who has grounded out, fouled out, and struck out. Two-one Padres here in the top of the 9th inning. Tying run Kadire at first base with 1 out.
Padres.
Arenado from El Toro High School, just up the freeway. There goes the runner. Fly ball to center. They fake the runner. They're going to get a double play out of this. Amarista with a catch. Here comes the throw to the first. A double play, and the ball game is over. They deked Kadire, the veteran, thinking that was a ground ball. He makes a slide into second. When Amarista makes the catch, he fires to first, and the Padres have won it 2-1.
Head down, no flash look, slide.
Nice.
Jerko's still at the bag. And Amarista, one nice hop over there, one hopper to count blanks.
The Padres turned 2 double plays off outfield catches, and 3 total tonight. And another hard-earned win, 2-1, Mike Pomerantz.
That's one way to end any trouble, that's for sure. We're going to take a look at everything that happened tonight. Jed Jerko doing the deal. Tyson Ross, great night on the mound. And Tony Gwynn talks with Todd Helton.